What is up, you guys? Diggerdan here, coming at you with another video. Today, I'm doing my April reading wrap-up. So without further ado, let's dig into it. So for the month of April, I had expected to read 4 novels, and then maybe sprinkle in some graphic novels in there. But I slacked a little bit. There's one book I'll talk about that took way longer to read than I expected. A little bit of a reading slump on there. But yeah, so I have 3 books in 1 graphic novel. So Goodreads tells me it's 4. But for those of you who don't count that towards your reading goals, I'll talk about goals at the end. Yeah, so I got 3 in 1. So the first book I read was Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. A lot of you guys have been telling me to read this for a while. So I finally did, and I'm very excited to report that I did enjoy it. Overall, I rated this as a 7.74, so pretty high. And I'm excited to most likely jump into the second book, which I believe is Well of Ascension. I'm excited to jump in that one for next month. But I did really enjoy this book. I do have a review somewhere for Mistborn. Most of these, I will have a review out. And if it's not out yet, it'll probably be out the following week. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved the magic system. Brandon Sanderson's magic systems are always really fun and inventive. And for Mistborn, like the whole allomancy, being able to eat metals, and then you burn the metal in your stomach, and depending on what metal you burn, you have different abilities. I think that's genius, and I just think it was really fun. So yeah, Mistborn, one of the better ones I read. So just going in reading order, the next thing I read was Solo Leveling book, or number 5. I was trying to show you the spine. This is, normally I don't really do graphic novels or manga, or, again, I always say this, but I forget exactly, again, what the Korean manga is called. But I just like it. This is quintessential lit RPG, and if you don't know what that is, that's a subgenre of fantasy, where the story has, like, video game aspects, or video game characteristics, where our main character, Jin Woo-sung, he's like a reawakened being, and he literally, like, because he's reawakened, he literally can, like, look at his stat block and see what his strength's at, what his speed's at, what his charisma's at, all these different things. And the more monsters he defeats, the more experience he gets, and then once he levels up, he can distribute more skill points towards his different skills, literally getting stronger and faster. And then it's funny too, because you can, even the art style changes for Jin Woo-sung a little bit, so it's like sometimes he actually gets a little taller, or his muscles get a little bigger, or he's like more ripped. And like other characters notice it too, so it's really interesting. And like there is there's a monetary or a currency system where you can like go in the shop, like you just at a click of a button, basically, go in the shop, buy different things while he's in the middle of dungeons, while his fellow hunters can't do that. So it's just really interesting. But yeah, anyway, I rated this as an 8.6. So I think I rated Volume 4 slightly higher than this one. But it's really good. And I'm very excited to jump into Volume 6, or Volume 4, I'm sorry. I said I rated Volume 4 slightly higher than Volume 5. But I'm very excited to jump into Volume 6. But I try not to focus on the manga too much, just because I do really enjoy reading actual full-length novels as well. And that's obviously this channel is more revolves around. Maybe, like, occasionally, like, I do have a review for the first Solo Leveling novel, or volume, excuse me. So maybe I'll do more graphic novel or manga stuff in the future. Let me know if you guys want some of that. But if not, I kind of use this to sprinkle in if I'm in a reading slump, or if it's like the weekend or something, and I just like want to rip through something really quick, because usually these only take me like 3-4 hours max to rip through a volume. So because I feel very productive, like, yeah, I read a book today, where it was only 3 or 4 hours. Where some of these books, like Mistborn, for example, this is almost 800 pages, or almost 700 pages. I'm sorry, it's like 650. This one takes me easily 20 hours, right? So the time commitment's different, but the payoff sometimes is almost more rewarding, depending. So, and then after Solo Leveling, the book that gave me the reading slump a little bit was The Sword of Shannara. This one took me like 2 weeks, maybe even 2.5 weeks to finish. But I'm really glad I got through it. I almost DNF'd it. I was about halfway through. I was even messaging my friend Benjamin's Benjamin over at Benjamin's Book Club. Because him and I talk on Twitter sometimes, talking about what are you guys reading, like mini booktube updates, stuff like that. And at the time, I was telling him that I was reading Sword of Shannara and I was struggling, and then I had the idea of like picking up audiobook. So I did find audio of Sword of Shannara, and I was like doing the immersive reading where you listen to it while you read it, and that really helped me focus and just kind of helped me force through it. But I'm glad I did, because the ending of this book is phenomenal, and it makes me really excited to continue the trilogy. I don't know if I'll continue the trilogy immediately or just kind of sit with it a little bit and maybe later in the year pick up the rest of the trilogy. Because like I say in my review for this one, is that you can almost read this book as a standalone and be satisfied with the entire arc or the entire plot. Where it's like, I know there's a trilogy, so now like there's a little bit of FOMO for it. But if I didn't know that and I just read this as a standalone, I'd be very satisfied. So now, is it a token derivative? You have to watch a video to find that out. But short answer is yes. But long answer is I don't care. I still really enjoyed it. So, all right. Now, last book I read for the month of April was Star Wars: The Last Command by Timothy Zahn. This is the last book in the Thrawn trilogy, at least in the Legends trilogy. And overall, I did enjoy the trilogy. But the ending for this book really kind of disappointed me. I won't say spoilers, but you can go watch my video for that if you want to. Like, the things that happened, I kind of expected to happen one way or another, but just the way it happened for me wasn't 100% believable, and left me unsatisfied. Now, I know there are people that have told me that there is a duology follow-up to this, or two-book series, and I don't know if I want to read that one, because just with how bad of a taste it left in my mouth at the ending of this one. I still rated the book decently high. I didn't say Sword of Shannara I rated as a 7.2. This one I rated as a 7.04. So still in that dig it category, where I enjoyed it. But the score would be much higher if the ending didn't flop for me. So yeah, so 3 books, 1 graphic novel. So for the year, for my goals updates, if you count the graphic novels I've read this year, then I'm sitting at a pretty 22 books out of my 40 goal for the year. But if you don't, which I kind of self-imposed challenges, I'm not counting that towards my 40. I'm planning on reading 40 full-length novels. So I'm sitting at 16 novels out of 40 that, again, I'm planning on reading for the year. So yeah, I'm still sitting pretty good. I forget how many weeks we're in, but that's about a book a week. So I think I'm a little ahead, because even if you just round up and say 20 books out of 40, that's half. We're not even halfway through the year yet. Now again, I know that's 4 weeks. That's skipping a whole month. But we're pretty close to that. May is the 5th. I'm overthinking this now, but yeah, that's where I'm sitting at. So, what did you guys read for April? What's your favorite read? What's your least favorite read? What's one of the books that I read that excites you the most? Like, I know a lot of people love Mistborn. I know a lot of people are so about Shannara. I know a lot of people honestly just ignore anything Star Wars, which I understand. Yeah, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like down below. Want to see more from me, Diggerdan, please hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification icon so you guys know when I upload each and every single time. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.